Good morning. I'm live in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Namaste Today. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. My name is Stepº23 Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius joy. My job is to stand in my heart and walk in the light, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is a pleasure to light walk with you, my friend. I'm lovecasting live in 5 dimensions from the beautiful Temple of Gaia on Thursday, May 14th, 2015. And today the sun rules at step 23. Now, step 23 is when we feel on top of it, on top of, well, what we're manifesting. It is our manifestations. The sun is in Taurus, so we are manifesting. So today I believe you will feel on top of it, on top of what you're trying to create. And it comes down to the architecture of incarnation, what you feel, the two, and what you believe coming together. Now, out of the two, I'm thinking that belief is the hardest part. We have Saturn in Sagittarius for all you astronauts out there, and you know that we are changing what we believe right now. So when you feel and believe, oh, it's probably a new belief we're talking about, and yes, we are. I'll get in depth of that with the architecture of incarnation. But before we dive into manifesting what you believe, let's first tame our brain, shall we, with the phrase of today. I feel my passion today. Oh, I hope that didn't hit you guys too hard in the mic. And believe in myself. I feel my passion and believe in myself. Now, of that phrase, you may feel your passion, but you may not 100% believe in yourself. Don't worry about that. I don't think everyone ever believes 100% in themselves. There's always a lot you believe in and stuff you're still seeing if you're not full of crap on. You know what I mean? Like, I pretty much believe in that. Let's just see if I don't die first. You know what I mean? Like, so there's always that. And in my recommendation as sensei to happiness, you have to really focus on the belief you have no doubt about. So I believe I'm a fabulous father. I believe I'm a total goofball. I believe a lot of things that I have no doubt on. There's so much evidence. Just look at the YouTube record, right? So I stick to those when I say I believe, just so you know in my affirmations. That's where that belief comes from. And from that belief, I know that what I believe next will likely be true, and so on and so on and so on. So today you want to feel your passion on one hand. Feel what you're passionate about. It doesn't matter what you call up. We're just calling up the state of awareness of passion to the table, like attendance in homeroom. Passion, are you here? So you can think about anything you're passionate about, but ideally you'll be thinking about the passion you have for what you want to manifest. That would be the best use of passion today. And then you want to call up something you believe in. I believe in myself, just like this time and that time and this time and that time. And that's what today will lead to is and so. But first, let's set up the brain. So one more time to keep it in the mind. I feel my passion today, and I believe in myself. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. Now the serious step of the day is step 23. And the way this adds up is I feel plus I believe equals I think 5. I think is what we're leading to. So I feel it, I believe it, and that means, you see how it sets it up? You see how the architecture sets it up? You feel it and you believe it, and where's it going? The mind wants to say, wants to put in a 5 there. Like it's classified like, because it's starting to get out of hand, the other part of our conscious wants to classify it, throw a term on it, you know what I mean? Like, make a sentence out of it, whatever, a click structure, something that just like says you're on top of it. And that's what today's about. You're going to let your feelings flow, let your beliefs flow, and then ride that, rodeo of consciousness and see what it comes down to. Now, looking at the architecture of incarnation, 3 is very important in all three dimensions. I mean, I think all the states are important, all the numbers are important, but they all have interesting characteristics in the story they tell as we build consciousness on Earth. In the beginning, the first act, 3, believing in the first place is seeing if you're ready to get in the game. So if a person isn't at step 3, they're not ready to do anything. You can't get past believing. Don't even go to 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. You don't even believe. Now 3 is the magic number, right? 3 dimensions, right? We live in 3 states of, 3 dimensions at one time. This is a 3D reality. right? The fourth dimension is time, so when it comes to 3, obviously you got to get it in the 3s. So 3 is, do you believe? We're past that right now. You already said you believe. That's why we're up to the 2nd and 3rd. Now in Act 2, 3 is very important as the quantum level. You can't get to the next level, step 4, where you really belong, unless you believe, step 13. And so you're probably already past that. Now we're at Act 3. Act 3 is whether or not we're going to light this candle and go to the moon. All right? Step 23 is basically the decision to throw the switch. It is where the mind grasps what you're doing, and at that point it is a commit or not commit, and there's no turning back. You finally get it. So it's an aha moment. It's a, it's a Frankenstein moment. I've got life, I'm thinking of that kind of thing. And that's really the moment you're going for today, if you want to go for any moment, is that moment of clarity. So let's first, before we dive into the architecture of it deeper, let's first ground our colors with today's chakras.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
And here we are with today's ruling colors. Now, we are all ruled this month by orange. Orange, which is I manifest. The 2nd chakra, which is I love and I trust. And this is where we manifest from. Now, someone who was commenting earlier this week said, I thought Taurus ruled the throat. Very good question. In my humble opinion, what Taurus rules is the throat's flesh. Okay? So when you hear in that kind of classic astrology where certain signs rule certain parts of the body, like Taurus rules the throat and the throat chakra, it's really, in my opinion, Taurus rules the throat. The throat chakra, in my opinion, is ruled by Libra. So I believe that Taurus emulates from the 2nd chakra and then manifests in the end through the throat. That's my belief. Now, yellow. It's all about the mellow yellow today, my friend. We start in I feel. Step 2 is I feel. So we begin with we're manifesting, and we move into our feelings. That's the 2. And that passion starts moving forward, and that's terrific. And then we add indigo, which is I believe. All right? Indigo is the 3rd eye. It is us light casting into our future. The truth is, we only believe in something that we truly want to manifest from back here. If we don't want it here, we don't believe in it up here, right? So really belief is, I protect, I love, and I feel it. That's what a belief is, and that creates a vision of where we're going. So today we're going to add that vision. And we're basically doing in our soul is we're looking down that vision, and we're listening to our yellow, like Pooh Bear, to go, does that feel right? And we're looking for the 2 to kind of come together. And when they come together, we get more yellow. Step 5. That's when the mind goes ding, and the yellow is now locked. You see how that works? So this is kind of the process of the soul. You'll be lighting up in a beautiful color fireworks display of soul, which is basically orange, yellow, indigo, yellow. And when you get that pattern, you've done the day. So let's take a look at the timing and all the states of awareness with today's cosmic clock. And here we are with the cosmic clock. Well, the sun has progressed now to step 23. 23 adds to a 5, like I said, which means we're trying to get our mind on top of the new reality, Taurus, that we are creating this month. So that begs the question, well, where's the mind? Mercury is at step 12. Step 12, Gemini, for a 2nd day now. In fact, it will be at step 12 for 3 days in a row. And if you've watched my show, you notice that Mercury is usually in step with the heart, which is the sun, which is about 1 degree per day. Usually, they do tend to dance together. They are very close, right, in space. But now, because Mercury retrogrades late Monday, you're going to see that Mercury is slowing down. So it's a step 12 day, a step 12 day, a step 12 day. Now, step 12 is that we are learning. Our mind is reprogramming. We are literally reprogramming the mind. Mercury is in Gemini. So when the planet is in its home state, it's getting a reprogram itself. It's not just getting the mission statement, it's also getting its hardware updates. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a hardware and a software update for our I think. By the way, Mercury goes retrograde on Monday, and it will be in step 13, which is a quantum step, right? And it hits step 13 during the new moon on Sunday. I'll have more on that in tomorrow's show. Fascinating, amazing clockwork of the universe. Now, Venus herself is at step 7. Step 7 is I sense. Venus is I receive. So we are receiving what we sense in our feelings, what our psychic senses are in our feelings today. So we are definitely hearing psychic truth. Take a moment and ask yourself the important questions. See what the answer feels like, what it feels like. Those feelings will lead to truth. Now, don't forget, Venus is trining into Neptune for several days. Neptune is the king of eye sense. So this is almost like God shouting at us as far as the astrological makeup is concerned. You know what I mean? Like, like putting up signs, every song on the radio. Like, I don't think God can get any more clear. Listen to it. Don't deny it. This is one of those moments where you have to listen to your soul and really know. All right? So Venus is trining Neptune. Now, Venus is also opposing Pluto, which means whatever you end up feeling, whatever truth you uncover about your feelings, it likely will oppose the rules, Pluto, will oppose the laws, Capricorn, right? And where the line is, Pluto. So you likely will feel yourself into a position that makes you go, uh-oh, I don't want taxes, which means I'm no longer British, which is basically where we were last time Pluto was at step 15, the American Revolution. 15 Capricorn, excuse me. So your feelings will probably lead to things that change the rules, that cause re-evolution in your soul. And it's probably something God is telling you that only you and God know right now because of the Neptune trining into Venus. Now, Mars is today in Gemini. So Mars is our hyperactive dog. I call it the dumbass in us. And the dumbass is in our mind, Gemini. So our dumbass is in our mind, feeding us a whole bunch of dumbass suggestions. And those suggestions are all the things that our dumbass thinks we should do. Well, let's do this, let's do that. Because that's what dumbass comes with, her action item lists, right? So Mars is the action item list, itemizer. And today it moves from step 1, which is wanting the heart, to step 2. Now, I'm imagining that when it goes to step 2, that means our aggro doggy inside is going to get really excited about some sort of feeling. It might be the feeling of truth overwhelming us, like, oh God, I can't deny it now. Oh, like, and then the dog goes to step 2. It could be whatever. I can go on and on forever of examples of what it can be. But the point is that your aggressive side is going to be pushing on that emotional part of you. Something's going to ring your bell. And let's not forget, it's not just Mars at step 2, it is opposing Saturn. And Saturn, which is also at step 2. In fact, once the mind, I don't know, you can place your bets. You guys will have to comment and tell me. Did Mars go to step 2 after you came to your conclusion? Like, oh my God, and then you had this crazy emotion? Or did you have this crazy emotion that pushed you to your conclusion? That's something I'm like studying as an astrologer. But truth be said, you're going to at some point be very passionate, Mars step 2. And at that point, in full debate with Saturn, which is the part of you going, well, you should do this and you should do that. You should go to college and you should be happy with and you should be grateful. And that's what Saturn is. So Mars will at that point be barking at that other part of you, which means you may be actually having this all in your head, like the crazy Witecki, or you may be spitting it out and yelling at somebody in traffic, like an American may. You know what I mean? But the point is we're all wired for this. It's a debate inside. You've got to get to the bottom of it. And you might ask, well, how do our feelings? All this step 2, what about our feelings? What do they feel about it? Well, the moon is in Aries. That's the fighting sign. So unfortunately, we're quite aggressive about it, actually. The moon is in Aries, and so emotions are really ready to get into a fight. Emotions are ready to do something about it. Emotions are, kind of amping up for the party, so to speak. And that means our ego is online, but that's Mars, our ego. I want, I. You know what I mean? But one thing that's important is the moon is trining both Jupiter and Saturn. So our emotions, just so you know, your emotions are filled with both sides. Jupiter, the side of your heart going, Jupiter is like the good fairy that's like, oh, you know what to do. And then on the other side, it's Saturn, which is like, no, we shouldn't do that. Lay everybody off. Forget it. Let's not have a Christmas this year. You know what I mean? That's Saturn. He's a bastard. And these two sides literally are going at it inside of you. And I would imagine these sides go at it either because you discover a truth and you get you don't know how you're going to deal with it, or you're in a truth and you don't know how to deal with it. So the passion may be the truth of it or realizing the truth of it is what I'm getting to. It's intense. But you might ask, okay, Chris, well, what does God have to say about all this crazy orchestra? Well, God is giving us a yod. God is pointing the finger to Pluto. And what this basically says in this yod is, you know what you do, says God? You take all of your new love and your belonging, and you take all your thoughts and your believing, and you make up your own rules. And that is what is being suggested by the universe. Pluto at step 15 means the 5 is I think. Your mind will come to something you think and it comes down to a new rule. So at the end of the day, if you can't resolve the bickering in your head, they're probably bickering because both sides are stuck behind some wall, some rule, and the question is, who made up that rule? That rule that makes these two sides of you fight. Interesting, eh? So looking at the Tower of Truth, I know that was a long one, but I had to get it out. We're at step 23 today. Step 23, as you said, this is the point where you get it or don't get it, and the point where you'll put it all together. And we're climbing high here in the Tower of Truth. Just so you know, we will have our final step on Sunday, at least the big manifestation step, right? And that'll be at step 26. So we manifest at 26, or 3 days from the manifestation point. Now in the Tower of Truth of Gemini, Mars, as you can see, is at step 2 here at the bottom, kind of aggravating and inflaming the lower regions of our mind. And Mars is in the lower regions of our mind, okay? So we have this, gutter thinking going on, or a lot of gutter pushing. Mercury, however, is up at step 12, but about to retrograde, and the step differential right now is 10. So what brings your ego and your mind together is them both getting on board what you want to create, what you want to manifest. Step 10, all right? So with all of that inner clockwork, let's boil it down to one simple hour hand and one simple minute hand with today's Joy Quest. Today's Joy Quest, should you choose to accept it, is resistance is futile. Accept who you really are. What all this comes down to, what this big conclusion is going to come down to, with the Jupiter and the yacht and all the changes, is we're trying to get to who we really are. And likely your mind, what it doesn't get, is some truth about who you really are. Now you only know who you really are by listening to your feelings. If it feels good and you like it, that's who you are. You know what I mean? The mind has a hard time accepting that. Take anyone in another culture. It's like, okay, we're going to go to this other culture where we're going to eat snails. And you go there and you eat snails, and you're like, this is actually pretty tasty. Your mind's like, I can't believe that. Right? Completely outside of what you enjoyed. You didn't know until you tried it. And then like life cereal, Mikey likes it. You know what I mean? So it is really about who you really are. That's what the mind is afraid of. Your mind is afraid of coming to a conclusion that is something you didn't think you were. That's what Jupiter 14 is getting us to, which is also a step 5. Didn't have time to talk about it. So today, just be who you are. Feel who you are and accept who you are. Try to let it in. You don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to sign up at a club, okay? You just have to accept who you are. And that is the first step to moving into your Sirius joy. Seriously. So for those who are watched over by my Sirius Joy Network, today I will be texting you to help you with who you are. First of all, I'm going to give you an idea of where those beliefs might be pointing at 9:09. So from what I can tell based on your Zodiac race. At 11:11, I'm going to give you the Pluto Yod. First at 11:11, I'll tell you where God is pointing in your daily life to change. Then at 3:03 p.m., where God is pointing in your big lifetime right now to change. So where the odds affect you in today's Sirius Joy. Now, if you'd like to subscribe to Sirius Joy, it's just $19.95, and you can get text messages catered just to you, written by me every night. No kidding. It's one of my labors of love. So find out more by coming down to SiriusJoy.me. Love to have you. Now, on to today's telepathy from my temple to yours. We're working on Taurus characters, Taurus vibrations, and it's not just their image, it's not just their name, it's the total vibration of the soul. You can really pick up a vibration if you just kind of listen for it. And we're on a Taurus theme, and today's Taurus theme is Taurus TV icons. Sometimes my own alliteration and branding gets the worst of me. TV icons, Taurus TV icons. These are TV icons who are also Tauruses. And actually, I have to say, each one of these icons I actually liked. You see if you liked them too. But only one of them I picked out to talk about after the commercial. Is it number 1, TV icon B. Arthur from Maude and Golden Girls. Number 2, TV icon George Takei, also known as Mr. Sulu in Star Trek. Or TV icon Kim Fields, who is Tootie in The Facts of Life. Which TV icon am I sending to you? I'll have the answer right after this. Your date of birth holds all the secrets to your soul. You give us your date of birth, we'll tell you the secrets to love, the secrets to lust, and who the best person for you just might be. I have the answers. Check out Secrets of Birthdays at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste today. So for the answer to today's telepathy, from my temple to yours, I'm thinking of a Taurus TV icon. One of these TV icons was in my mind as we went to commercial. Was it number 1, B. Arthur, number 2, George Takei, or number 3, Kim Fields? And the answer is B. Arthur. And if anyone knows me, I love B. Arthur, always have loved B. Arthur, but she was a very cool Taurus, Step 21 Taurus. Step 21's open doors. That's what they do, and boy did she. In fact, she was always the tough, outspoken broad. On Archie Bunker, she was on Maude, and of course she was on the Golden Girls. An interesting fact, I was researching her for this, and I realized they said that she was 5'10". Didn't she look like 6'7" to you on the like she always looked so tall. She was 5'10", which means the other Golden Girls were like gold munchkins, really, I guess. That's TV for you. How about that? So let's move on to today's rock and roll gospel. I think it's very important to always put on a song, and I always try to pick out a song that's kind of in harmony with the vibration of the day, because I think music is literally angelic vibration filtering down through manifestation. And so today I'm picking out a Taurus from the 20s, a smooth jazz singer. I'm speaking to Ella Fitzgerald, if you don't know. She is known as the Queen of Jazz. She is known as Lady Ella. She was known as the First Lady of Song. But she had the ability to create this resonance and this tone that just totally takes you with her. You have to listen to find out. Tauruses, like I've said all month, take you into their music. So I've actually chosen a very smooth song, a song you might even hear at Starbucks. It's called Black Coffee. You might have heard it at Starbucks. You'll recognize it if you listen to jazz when you hear it licensed in public. And listen to the Black Coffee and see, take that approach today as you're streaming your beliefs and your feelings. But before you boogie down with Ella Fitzgerald and probably B. Arthur, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today and a special soul vitamin. And today, of course, I have to include in your special soul vitamin where the Pluto yacht is pointing. So today, I'm giving you that ultimatum, that final solution that God gives you with where Pluto is pointing in each of the 11 steps of Sirius choice, starting with the secret step, Step 0's the Scorpios. Scorpios, partly cloudy and hyper-aware of your reality today. You are sensitive to all of your environment. But God says think differently and communicate differently. That is the fulcrum that needs to change. Step 1's the Leos, cloudy and learning throughout their day, literally. But your fulcrum point is how you live in your life in the moment. Do you live in happiness? Do you live in fear? Do you live in denial? Do you live in truth? Those are the questions, I think, with that pointing of the yod. Step 2, the Cancers, cloudy and professional today. And I think for yourself, God is saying you need to look at how you marry others. So how is it that you marry others? What rules do you marry yourself to when you marry others? Step 3, the Sagittarius, is sunny and heartfelt today, in my opinion. But the Yod says how you earn your wealth and what you value. That's what needs new rules for the Sagittariuses. Step 4, the Aquarians, sunny and hyper-minded today. But the Yod is pointing to you of how you have inner faith. So what are the rules of inner faith? That's what needs to change, I think. Step 5, the Geminis, sunny and social today. And basically, the Yod's point for you is what you will and want to trust. So how it is you want to trust, what it is you want to trust, those are the rules that have to change. What and how and what you will trust. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and selfish today, I'm afraid. But the question for you with the Yod is, it's time to decide and make different rules about what feels appropriate. So different rules about what actually feels appropriate. Maybe there's new rules. Maybe something else is appropriate. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny and productive today. But the Yod is pointing to you to ask the question, where do you really belong, Pisces? So making a new decision about where you really belong. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny, nesting, and resting. The Yod pointing to what is the right action policy for you. So coming up with the right action policy or wrong action policy. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and cool today. For you, the Yod is pointing to a new career direction. So new rules around what a good career really is. Step 10, the Taurus, sunny, private, withdrawn today. But for you, it's what do you really believe now versus what you should believe. So Tauruses tend to be good boys and good girls, and they believe what they should believe. What do you really believe, Taurus, is the question with the Yod. And then step 11, sunny and withdrawn for the Virgos today. your question with the yacht is, what is the real rules for you around love? So God is saying, maybe you need to come up with some new rules around love. Maybe they're not the best rules for you. And on to our Lightwalker Parade. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please be kind and do subscribe. We thank you ahead of time. And on Facebook, you can be our friend by navigating to soulgarden.me. And, of course, I have a reading special right now. If you buy a 1-hour reading, you'll get a free 30-minute follow-up that you can use up through the end of the summer, August 31st. So find out more at soulmart.me. And if you'd like personal text messages sent to your phone, come to SiriusJoy.me. And as always, I have to say, thank you for indulging me. Today might have been a long show, lots to talk about. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. Remember, accept who you really are. I'll see you in 24 hours. I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.
So